Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. I'm here with Lewis. What happened?
See, when everyone was calling us negative over that unbeaten run that we had while we were saying it was fake as fuck, this is exactly the sort of result we were talking about. And the same thing with the Manchester United game and everything like that. I'm happy with the way we played against Salzburg, but we said that game was fucking open as dog shit. And those are the games that we like to turn up in. And Brighton would come in with a different intensity. They obviously played on pure hatred over Graham Potter and Cucurella and everything that happened. And we just collapsed. Absolutely collapsed. I can't even... Usually after games like this, I can sit here and I can tell you that at least this player played well. At least this player played well. Who?
Havertz.
Did he play well?
He scored.
Great. So what was his performance like?
Well, he did what he needs to do. He put the ball in the back of the net.
He could have put the ball in the back of the net with an easier chance in the second half, and he sent that all the way back to Crystal Palace. It wasn't a good performance from him. I don't want to hear anything. He was better in phases in the second half, but please, like, for once, can we have some standards at this club? That's not a good performance. It's like, you were okay, you were all right. And that's the same for everybody else. We won't just scapegoat Havertz or anything like that. To be honest, in the second half, he was probably one of the only players who still kept his head up. He still wasn't good enough. Same way, Mount was terrible. Sterling, absolutely terrible. Pulisic, terrible. The midfield, terrible. Even Silva and Chalobah were terrible. Kepa, did he come off because of an injury, or did he come off for like tactical reasons, or what?
I did see him. He had a little niggle. I think he had a little problem.
Then Kepa is whatever. Couldn't have done any more with the goals in the first place anyway. Maybe he leaves with his head held high. Is that what we take out of today? Is that really what we take out? Yeah, Kepa was alright for 45 minutes. Awful performance, and like I've been saying for ages, and everyone has sat there and called me negative, the same way, like, this happened for years. Like, yeah, we've had a good run of form. Does that mean we've played well for 90 minutes? No. In the league, we haven't played well since Wolves, and Wolves didn't even have a fucking manager when we played them. Like, I'm happy with the fact that we can at least churn out wins or draws, even though we look fugazi as fuck while we're doing it. But don't sit there and act like we're playing well. We haven't. And now, finally, all the bullshit that everyone's tried to hide away from, then it's now all being realised. We are not playing well. We have not been playing well. We have had a nice little new manager bounce, and now is the biggest test for Graham Potter. Everyone said, this game's the biggest game because we got AC Milan. This game's the biggest game because it's United and it's the top 6. No. The biggest game is always going to be how you bounce back from the loss. We haven't got a good run of fixtures coming up. Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle. Fuck the Zagreb game. That doesn't mean shit. Nobody cares. At least we can rotate. But the next run of games are vital, because we've thrown it to Manchester United. Now they can overtake us in the top 4 race if they get a result. I don't even know if they're fucking playing today or not. And after that, our results don't get any easier.
There's no easy games, mate. No easy games. But just coming back to, obviously, the performance, let's talk about the game. I mean, we talk about Sterling and Pulisic playing as wing-backs. Were they really wing-backs? Because I didn't see them come down. I saw them push up, and Cucurella was left on his own on that left-hand side.
The positioning was just completely pointless. Like, I get you can do that in a game against Salzburg, because Salzburg literally play under social distancing conditions, and it's the Austrian league. Respectfully, like, I get they're champions and everything, but respectfully, there is a golfing class. And we saw that the first time we played them. The problem is we didn't kill them off when we had the chance. Again, look at the little bits of context in the performances that we have. We have not been playing well for ages. And it's again the same problem here. Sterling and Pulisic as 2 wing-backs. You don't have a single defensive-minded one out of the 2. Look at the third goal. Pulisic got completely left out clueless trying to defend the ball from Caicedo. And fair play, he should have done a lot better. The guy ain't a fucking wing-back. The same thing with Sterling. Sterling was poor. Sterling ain't a wing-back either. We need to start playing these guys in their natural position. If we play a back 5 and everything because we're trying to protect Jorginho, why are we playing it when Jorginho's not in the lineup? And also, by the way, for all the people criticising Jorginho every single game for no fucking reason, yet again I'm here on a fan cam after a game where he hasn't played, telling you where was the control of the midfield without Jorginho. It's about time we put some fucking respect on our players. And people will say, yeah, I'm a Jorginho fan and everything. No, I'm just calling things how I see it. Yes, with Jorginho, we play slow. At the very least, we have some control of the midfield. We have some control of possession. Did we have that today? No. The ball pinballed around the box for fun. Same thing with Aston Villa. Did we have control until Jorginho came on?
No.
My point right there. But people will sit there and say he's the one holding us back. No. The team is the problem. Everyone's sitting here and saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek for World Cup. As soon as those Loftus-Cheek for World Cup talks came out, his performance has dipped. Kovacic, poor. Havertz, poor. Mount, poor. Sterling, poor. Wingbacks, poor. Everything, poor. Yeah, everything was just shit today.
What about the second half? Let's try and give a little bit of credit for Potter, the way he changed things. And I do think that the team,
What did it do?
they gave it a go, Lewis, in the second half. We had a lot of shots.
It a go.
We had a lot of shots on target. I'm not saying we were defensively sound. We were shocking defensively.
Did we have any threatening shots after the goal?
Of course, we had shots on target.
Threatening.
Listen, Lewis.
Like ones that you look like and it's like, wow, what a save from the goalkeeper. Or that was a good hit. No, it was just hitting hopes. If anything, we gave up after 2-0, gave up after 3-0. Nice little ball from Gallagher to Havertz, and to be honest, like, it's dog shit goalkeeping again from Sanchez, and we got saved off that, and we still gave up. We still barely showed any impetus. In the final third, arse decision making. Such dog shit decision making in the final third, and it never changes. And we're going to say we gave it a fight. Come on, bro, we did not.
Fight isn't quality. You can be shit and still give it a go. I'm not saying it was great, but I do think we gave it a go. I find it very difficult to sit here and say the players didn't try, because that's what you're basically saying.
Do you really think they gave it a try in that game, bro? Really? No, like,
I'm not going to sit here and say they weren't trying.
I saw Brighton sit a bit further back, but did I see us make anything threatening? No, I saw us push the ball forward, and as soon as we get to the final third, it's the same old dog shit. That to me isn't fight. Is Brighton got a bit shook because they conceded a goal. And they thought, okay, we don't want to give them a second, then they're going to get even more ahead of themselves. They sat back and they slowed down our game. And we were dog shit in the final third as a result of it. Because what do we do when we face a blow block? We go back into our shells every single time. So to me, no, we didn't fight back. Like, we had a nice moment. Gallagher to Havertz, it was a really good cross. Highlighted a game, whatever. Didn't mean a fucking thing to me. Didn't mean shit.
I do think we could have got more out of their game if some players took their chances. I mean, Pulisic had a really good one in the first half, and Havertz had a chance where he laid it off to Sterling, and we lost control of that. So I think that we certainly could have got at least a draw out of that game, because if we did score, maybe things would be more in our favour.
Havertz had much better decision making, but I'm not going to sit here and scapegoat him. Sterling was trash, Mount was trash. Aubameyang came on and he couldn't really do anything at that point. Neither could Broja.
Actually, he had a good shot on target, so that was a good save from Sanchez as well. This is me trying to find the positive, Lewis, because we can't just pile it on.
We can't find the positives in a 4-1 loss to Brighton.
There's always something.
They didn't have a win under their new manager until we came here. Come on, bro. There's not positives we can take out of it. I get it. I understand it. And to be honest, I rate that you're trying to find positives. I understand it. I don't see any. The only positive I see out of this game is that we can rest everyone for the Zagreb game and focus for Arsenal. That is the only positive. In terms of anything else, no, we played like shit. Even after we can got a goal back, we played like shit. And we have even tougher fixtures coming up. And I'm meant to have confidence for that. Fucking Arsenal coming to the bridge, they're gonna fucking dunk on us again if we play like that. God forbid, 3 wins in a row at the bridge. And then Newcastle. You got a nice little Man City away there in between that. No, like, I don't see positives. I keep saying it's up to the players to instill that positivity in the fans. And they didn't do it. Everyone will sit there and say, atmosphere's dead, atmosphere's dead. If the players play like crap, the fans aren't going to be sitting there cheering and chanting for 90 minutes. You have to give them something to go off. And we don't do it. We don't fucking do it. And that's only one of like the hundreds of issues that we have right now, and I'm not looking at Potter. I saw a lot of criticism towards Potter already at half time. He's not the issue. The issue is the same issue that Tuchel had. The personnel. The midfield has fuck all creativity. We have a DM that struggles in defensive transition, but we struggle in even basic control of possession when he's not on the pitch. Our attackers have no idea of creativity. Their decision making is dog shit. We're putting wingers as fucking wing backs. And then even the defence, like, that's the only thing we can rely on. When they don't turn up, we're fucked.
The thing is, we talk about putting Pulisic and Sterling in their positions, but how can you start them ahead of other players? And who do you start them instead of? Who do they replace? Because there's a reason that Pulisic was on the bench. You couldn't get in ahead of Havertz and Mount. Do you think that he's got the quality to do that? Who's he going to play instead of?
Pulisic and Sterling both need to be played further forward before I say anything too much about them. But Sterling hasn't been good for a while. Even the Salzburg game was like, it's just better than what we've seen before. And Pulisic was poor today. In general, just poor today. But who else do you put at wing back? Like, Loftus-Cheek weren't great either. Aspi, we're all scared shitless if he plays a full 90. And we're still waiting on Reece James to come back. That right wing back position needs to be sorted out in ASAP. But I don't really know what else we do. The left speaks for itself. How we went for Sterling there instead of at least Ben Chilwell, I don't understand. Because if you're going to put one offensive one, at least put a defensive one on the other side. Because if you're playing two wingers there, none of them have defensive awareness. Neither of them. And I'm not expecting that of them either. That's why when Pulisic fucked up for the third goal, I'm pissed. But it's like, he's a wing back. When has I ever expected anything defensively from Pulisic? Never. So don't put him in that position to expect that sort of performance from him. Because you're not going to get it. Play defensive players. At least players with some sort of defensive understanding in the wing backs. Or at the least put one of them. So you have another one and then you can at least have four at the back. We didn't do that. We only had a three by themselves. And then we just had wing backs that were just pushed too far forward. Another issue, but it's a car crash tactically in terms of the individual performances. Everything was just poor from us today.